All right, looks like I'm live. Just double checking. I'm in the green. YouTube's good. Got my notes over here. All right, let's get started. It's 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. All right, welcome back to Movie Talk. We are going to talk about Wonder Woman 1984. So, two movies came out on Christmas. One is Wonder Woman 1984, which you can see in theaters in some parts of the States if they allow it because of COVID-19 and also the rest of the world. Or you can watch it at home on HBO Max. HBO Max is $15 a month for now. If you're able to get the free trial, which I wasn't able to, I couldn't even find it. I guess they got rid of it before Wonder Woman 1984 came out. It's $15 a month. But it's not just Wonder Woman, it's a lot of movies and shows as well. So honestly, it's a pretty good deal. Then we have Soul that came out on Disney Plus. Disney Plus right now is $7 a month. And I don't know if you could get a free trial for that either. But there you go. There are two movies. If I have to tell you, you can only see one movie, I would say go watch Soul. Yeah, I love Soul. Soul is awesome. And it's weird because this year I was so looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984 more than Soul. I love the trailers for Wonder Woman. I hated the trailers for Soul, but it's ironic because I ended up loving Soul a lot, and Wonder Woman 1984 ends up being a bit disappointing. So, in my opinion, if you have to choose only one, go with Soul. It is the cheaper option, but it is a better movie. Wonder Woman 1984, I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think it's good or great even, but I did enjoy it. I did have a lot of fun, but it's a giant mess. It really is. It's an incredibly big mess, but again, I enjoyed it, and it's very sincere. It has a very good message. And yeah, it did feel like something that you would see in an episode of Wonder Woman in the 80s. It actually felt like that, with an ending that actually belongs on a Care Bear episode. So there you go. If you wanted Wonder Woman 1984 in that style, you're gonna love this. Unless you're looking for something that's very similar to the first one, you are most likely going to get disappointed. And I saw the backlash against it on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere. And again, I can understand the hate, but I don't think it was really that bad. But that's just my opinion. All right, so let's dig deep into this. The beginning of this movie, I kind of think it's unnecessary, even though, yeah, there is a lesson at the end of the opening, and Diana will remember that lesson. But at the same time, I was like, you could actually cut this part out. Besides it being like a fun action sequence, but it's, again, young Diana. And it's weird how much this and Mulan remake have in common, because they both start off with a young version of the main hero. But here, we did see it before in the first Wonder Woman movie, and now we have it again for this. But again, it was a fun sequence, at least way better than the opening of Mulan, so I'll give it that. But at the same time, I felt like there was really nothing important or gained besides that message. But honestly, I felt like Diana could just spit that out of her ass and just say the message instead of, remembering what happened. But maybe it's a contract thing because they do have Robin Wright coming back, and also Connie Nielsen and the Amazonians. So yeah, you know what? I could dig it, but you could actually cut this out. So, the thing I was really worried about this movie for is that it's supposed to lead up to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, where we meet up with Wonder Woman for the first time. But the thing is that, yeah, it's a little confusing because she learned some new abilities that I don't think was ever addressed in even Batman v Superman or Justice League, the Joss Whedon version. But the thing is that there's a big event in this humongous event that happened in 1984, and I was like, you're telling me that this really altered history, but I guess it's really not that important. So that was my problem with that. So after we have the opening with Diana, then we get to 1984 with the mall rescue. Now, so this movie honestly felt like Spider-Man 2 a lot, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and Superman 2. Well, you could consider the Richard Donner version or the Lester version, but yeah, it's a lot like those movies, because you have a Wonder Woman cracking one-liners as if she was Spider-Man or Superman. Like, I hate guns, and also she does this to the girl as well, and she's just having fun. It's very cheesy, and also the music is very light, and it's supposed to be charming, and even though it's supposed to be like a daring rescue, it still feels like something you would watch from the 80s even. So yeah, the mall rescue was weird. It was weird. I dug it, but at the same time, we're so used to Wonder Woman kicking so much ass, especially in Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman and even Justice League. But in the mall rescue, yeah, it's very lighthearted, and that's why I think a lot of people really hate about that scene. And I get it, I do. Because these four men are not really threatening. Hell, only one of them tried to threaten to throw a girl off the ledge, and the other three men were like, "No, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Huh, that's kind of refreshing to see other people in the gang being like, 'You are the crazy one. Why are you trying to kill a girl? We're trying to rob a store.'" So that was a bit refreshing. But at the same time, the way it is, she's swinging around like Spider-Man and sliding on the floor and stuff like that. And again, it felt like Superman or Spider-Man. In the beginning of Spider-Man 2, when Spider-Man saved the two kids from getting crushed by the truck, it felt exactly like that. Her saving the girl, putting her on the pony, and then saving the other girl by sliding her towards a teddy bear. So that sequence, even though I dig it, it felt weird. Especially since we've seen Wonder Woman kick so much ass in the other movies. So yeah, that mall sequence, I can understand why people hate it. And also, these men don't look threatening either. Hell, it's like kind of watching like a movie like a 101 Dalmatians, the live action reboot, where you have these dopey men just with the pratfalls and stuff like that, and then you don't hear the Benny Hill chicken music, but you kind of imagine you did, so because they're running up the escalator. So yeah, it's weird. But it turns out that the reason why they did that is because these four men were trying to steal a stone from this black market store. And I guess I didn't think about it at first, but I guess it's because they were hired by Max Lord, and his business is going down the drain. He has no money, basically, and I guess he can only hire these guys instead of better henchmen. So I think that's it. Either he's so broke that he can only afford these guys, or he didn't want it to be super suspicious by hiring tougher dudes. But again, I don't know exactly the main reasoning behind it, but it's either one of the two. Either he's so broke he can only afford these guys, or he doesn't want it to be very suspicious, so he hired these dopey guys. So, yep, that's that. Then we have Diana. She's really upset because she's still in love with Steve. She can never move on from the loss of him. And I totally forgot when the first Wonder Woman took place, but I think it was during the 1910s, 1920s, around there. Because it's the first World War, right? So yeah, she's been moping around for about 70 years or a little more. So yeah, she couldn't find a man, basically. She couldn't find a loved one. And then we get to Kristen Wiig, who I honestly really liked in this movie. And it's a shame because I see on Twitter a lot of people bashing her, especially because they're like, "Oh, you ruined Ghostbusters, now you ruined this movie." And I was like, "Oh, come on. I don't understand the hate on her. I thought she was fine. I thought she was great, especially with what she had to work with. And I also love the evolution of her character because she does play this very socially awkward, nerdy type of girl who doesn't really stop talking, but she didn't sound annoying to me. She just sounds like she wants to be friends with people and she wants to be noticed. And I get that, I do. She's like a stereotypical nerd, especially in the 80s, and I thought that it was done pretty well. And when she did her wish, where she wanted to be a lot like Diana, being sexy, being confident, being noticed by everyone, including men, and then she slowly transformed into that. She's becoming hotter. And to be honest, for a 50-year-old woman, she looks fantastic. I mean, seriously, I could not believe she's 50 years old. Wow. So, I honestly dug Kristen Wiig in this, and I thought that her transformation, even though it does remind me a bit of Jamie Foxx's Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, it reminds me more of Michelle Pfeiffer's transformation in Batman Returns. And yeah, you could say it's a bit of Tobey Maguire as well, when he's like a nerdy Peter Parker, and then he got the spider powers, even though Tobey Maguire, when he gets physically buffer, he's still a nerd. But again, there's some Tobey Maguire-isms in there. But yeah, I could definitely see the Michelle Pfeiffer resemblance because I rewatched Batman Returns recently. Great movie still. And it reminds me of the beginning part of Michelle Pfeiffer as Selena Kyle, and she's, geeky, also socially awkward, and she was trying to talk with Max at the time, and the mannerisms are really canny, actually. And then after Michelle Pfeiffer became insane and she was reborn as a Catwoman, then her behavior is different. She's more confident, more fierce, more crazy even. So yeah, it's similar to that. So I thought Kristen Wiig did a good job. And honestly, I really liked everything she said, everything she did. My problem is that there are two villains in this, and I was really hoping that Kristen Wiig's character, Barbara Minerva, would end up using Max Lord, but it's actually the opposite. She is just a bodyguard in this, and that's what disappointed me, because we all know Cheetah. I mean, if you read the Wonder Woman comics, if you watched the Justice League animated series at least, you know who Cheetah is. You know that she's a big foil to Wonder Woman. So the fact that Cheetah is in this movie, you're hoping for an awesome showdown, but it felt like it was rushed, even though Kristen Wiig was in this movie for a long, long, long time. Like, a huge amount of this movie has Kristen Wiig in it. But she becomes the Cheetah only for 5 minutes at the end? Basically just a CGI effect. So that was disappointing to me. Because Kristen Wiig was really good in everything else. I loved her transformation. So this whole movie revolves around this stone, and it's... Okay, so here's the other thing too. My kind of problem with movies like this. So I like a lot of the superhero movies, like with Superman and even Spider-Man, because I do like sci-fi. So even if there are aliens in this, at least that seems like sci-fi. But then if you introduce something like demons or vampires or ghosts and ghouls in the movie, that kind of takes me out of it. And I'm not saying I'm against those elements. It's just I prefer sci-fi more. So if Superman is an alien, he is raised on Earth, I can buy that. If Superman and Constantine meet up, I cannot buy that. You know, even though, yes, they do interact in the comics, and yes, they do interact with the animated series, but for some reason, my mind won't take it, if that makes sense. I love Zatanna. I really like Constantine. If they work together, I'm fine with. But then you have them meet up with Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. I'm like, I'm lost. So that's kind of like me. I mean, especially in Marvel, when before Thor was introduced, when I heard he's coming in, at first I thought that was going to take away from my experience with it, from my immersion, but at least with Thor in the Marvel universe, he says it best, like, what you call here on Earth is magic, but what my people call it is science. And he does explain about it, and I actually dug the explanation. So for a while, I was like, okay, so what we perceive as magic, like lightning coming out of his hammer and stuff like that, he says it's science with the Rainbow Bridge and stuff like that, and even though it's religious and stuff, it should be more fantasy, but at least I bought it. Then we have Doctor Strange and magic. And I do like Doctor Strange. I do. And he did it well. The character did it well. And I was glad he was in it. But at first I was worried because I was like, magic is real. So same thing here with the DC universe. Even though, yes, I've seen there is magic in the first Wonder Woman movie. There is some sort of magic in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And yes, there is magic in Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, and also soon the Zack Snyder version. And of course, there's magic in Shazam. So at least I gotten used to that. But for some reason, my mind, I cannot understand a stone that grants wishes. I don't know why. I honestly preferred if there's Constantine in this or Zatanna, but within a Wonder Woman movie, a stone that grants wishes, I cannot fathom. I honestly can't. I watched this movie twice, and I cannot get my head around this. I don't know. It's weird because this kind of thing, if this was in the Linda Carter Wonder Woman series, I think I would have bought it more because it was that time period. It was weird and awkward and goofy and silly and also fun. But now since I'm watching it in 2020, I don't know. I just can't accept it. And I'm sorry. I honestly can't. Especially with how this wish stone actually works. So this wish stone, it only grants one wish. For the most part. We'll get to the rule changes later on. But yeah, it grants one wish to each person who holds the stone. So one guy wished for coffee and he actually got it like seconds after. At first it seems like a coincidence, but it turns out no, it actually came to him. That's the coffee that he wanted. And then Diana wish for something, but she doesn't say it out loud. So that's why I was like, okay, so if you hold the stone and you believe in it or say it in your thoughts, I guess the stone grants it? They don't fully explain how the wish thing works, because the guy had to say what he wanted to wish for the coffee. Kristen Wiig later on grabs the stone and she wished for something out loud. And Max Lord also wished for something out loud. Diana is the only one that doesn't say it out loud. So that's why I was wondering how exactly this worked. But unfortunately, once Max Lord got the stone, he wishes that he was the stone. So after that, that's that, I guess. And later on, he changes the rules of the stone as well, because apparently only one wish could be granted per person. And once you grant that wish, something would be taken. So, yeah, I don't know how did Max Lord find out about this. They don't fully explain where he researched it and all that stuff. So, yeah, apparently that's the rule. And he could change that rule later on for Barbara. So basically, Barbara gets 2 wishes. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know. But so because Max Lord became a genie, basically. Yeah, he's a genie. Okay? So he has to grab someone or touch someone, and he makes the wish for them if he really wants it. Like, he grabs his secretary, and he's like, do you wish for more help? And if she says yes, he could grant it, even though it's more for him. So, yeah, and the thing is that if he already grant a wish to someone, he can't give them another wish that they want, because one guy's he grabbed one guy and he wanted him to wish for something, but it turned out it didn't work because he already wished for Porsche. And it was a funny joke too, because he's like, what's with everyone with Porsches? I think it was a Porsche, right? Not Ferrari. It's a car. So And then we get to Steve Trevor. Everyone knows he was coming back. Everyone knows that Chris Pine signed a contract and he's definitely going to be back for a Wonder Woman movie. Everyone knew this. But we were trying to figure out how he would come back. So, some theories are, it's basically like Captain America. He was frozen in the ice or something, or frozen in time, or he teleported or something. Something happened and he's still alive. Or or for some reason, there's another guy that looks exactly like Steve Trevor and will gain the memories of Steve Trevor that she loves from the past. That was another theory. No one expected this! So when Diana granted her wish, which I guess she just wanted Steve Trevor back, so it happened during this party that she was in, and she sees a guy, and it was very weird at first because I was like, wait, who the heck is this guy? And so even she was confused too, but then it turned out it was Steve, and I was like, wait, that's a different guy. Why does he look like Steve now? Because it turns out that Steve Trevor's soul transported itself to another person's body. So, if you ever heard of this kind of story before, it's because you've probably seen Heaven Can Wait or Down to Earth. And so yeah, I immediately have flashbacks of Down to Earth. I'm imagining Chris Rock talking out of a fat white guy's body all of a sudden, and I was like, what the heck? And I just watched The Witches earlier, the remake of The Witches, and Chris Rock was in it too, narrating too. So I was like, what the hell? You had to remind me of Chris Rock again from Down to Earth. So yeah, but here's the difference though. I haven't seen Heaven Can Wait for a while, but I'm sure it's basically the same thing. In Down to Earth, Chris Rock dies, and he tells the guys, hey, I'm not supposed to die yet, and they realize, oh shit, he's right. He can't die yet, but unfortunately, your body is dead, so... so we're gonna transport your soul into a different body that just recently died. So apparently at that time, a fat white guy is dead. So that's Chris Rock. His soul is transported into that dead white guy. Here, it's not that. Steve Trevor's soul is transported to a guy who's still living. Now, there's some complications about that. Okay. The first thing Diana basically did, well, not first thing she did, but will do soon, besides kissing him, she had sex with him. She had sex with Steve. Which, again, I can understand. She loves Steve so much, she wanted to have sex with him, because I guess she didn't have sex for 70 years? Fine. I can understand that. But the thing is, she basically had sex with a person who's comatose. Because, yeah, Steve's soul is in that man's body, and it's not like that guy died and his soul went to heaven and Steve took over his body. No. So yeah, I guess she raped the guy? I guess? Because the guy is, stupid fly, the guy is unconscious? So, yeah, that was really weird. Again, from Diana's point of view, I can understand it. She really misses Steve so much, and she's just wants to be with him. She didn't think clearly. I get it. But unfortunately, to a lot of people, that's kind of messed up. So yeah, the thing is that Chris Pine as Steve Trevor is so good that I was actually willing to let that slide, even though it's really messed up. But I know a lot of people are talking about this, and wow, I'm not, and that's the thing, yeah, I don't know if Patty Jenkins realized how messed up that is. I can understand at first she didn't think anything bad of it, and I can understand it. But, yeah, it's messed up. But, moving on. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor being fascinated by everything in the 80s is amazing. Seriously, he steals every single scene he's in, and oh my god, even though Steve Trevor didn't even get into the picture until like 30 minutes later, man, I couldn't believe how much we missed Steve. Steve Trevor is really good. I love his fascination over futons and stationary bikes and jets and Pop-Tarts and astronauts and space shuttles and everything. Oh my god, it's like a little kid going to a museum for the first time and seeing dinosaurs, the thing he wanted to see. It's like that. Oh my god, the genuine joy. Chris Pine did such a good job. And also the chemistry between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot is so good that it's the best part of the movie for me. Unfortunately, this movie is a superhero movie. It is not a romantic comedy. If this movie was just a romantic comedy with a body switching thing, I could dig it. But unfortunately, there's a superhero in this. And her name is Wonder Woman. A big superhero. So, yeah, Max keeps making these wishes. I think he goes to Egypt at one point. I honestly just blanked on it. I think it's Egypt because he meets up with like an oil tycoon and stuff like that. And he made the oil tycoon make his wish where he wants everything back the way it was hundreds of years ago with his people being the dominant one and all that stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of complications with that. And Max Lord is stealing people's security. So actually, right before they get into the first big action piece of the movie, Diana is able to steal a jet from the Smithsonian? Okay. And apparently is fully fueled and able to go to Egypt from Washington, D.C., I guess. I'll just buy that. And she has this ability to turn the jet into an invisible jet. So I'm happy that, you know, we have an invisible jet. But at the same time, I was like, did you always have this power? Why did we not see this in Batman v Superman or Justice League? I mean, come on. You could turn things invisible? You always had that ability? You were just hiding it up your ass? Oh my god. So yeah, the invisible jet, even though it's cool and it made the geek in me very happy, but still, okay. Oh man. But yeah, she did say that she tried to do it on a coffee cup and unfortunately she lost it. So that was funny. But here's the thing. It was a coffee cup. You did it to a jet perfectly. What the hell? That's like a huge difference right there. Maybe it's because she has to feel like some kind of like danger or something like that. But I don't know. It's, yeah, the invisible power thing, even though it's cool, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense how she knows that ability. I guess it's because of Zeus. Whatever. Anyway, so then we get into our first big action scene, and this is the first time we realize that because of what Diana wished for, so the Witch Stone takes away something. So it's kind of like the Philosopher's Stone from, what was it? Full Metal Alchemist, or I think it's the box with Cameron Diaz, where if you wish for something, it takes away something else. Or the other one, Wish Upon, the terrible movie with Zoe King, I think. Where, again, if you wish for something, someone dies or someone gets incredibly hurt. So, yeah, it's kind of like that. So, when she wished for Steve Trevor to come back, even though it's not exactly Steve Trevor, it's just a soul in a different man's body, her powers are weakening. And this is the first mention of that during this action scene. And this is like more than an hour into the movie. And the movie is about 2.5 hours long. And I felt like that was a big problem. I think that we should have gotten a hint of her losing her powers way early on, as soon as she made the wish for Steve to come back. Because when she got hit by a bullet, I was like, wait, I thought she was bulletproof or invulnerable against that. She has super strength and stuff like that because she's still super fast. She's running alongside the tanks. She was running alongside the trucks, and she's able to swing very fast with a lasso and stuff like that. So that's why I was wondering when she got hit by the bullet. I was like, wait, so this is the first time they mentioned that her powers are weakening? But she's been with Steve for a long time, and all she did was trying to find information about the stone. So that's why I was like, I felt like you should have given us a bigger hint about her losing her powers. Like, I don't know, like, she keeps, getting a migraine or something like that. Like, she has no idea what's wrong with her. But no, she was perfectly fine. Hell, you have that invisible jet power. So I was like, if you are losing your powers, you shouldn't be able to do something like that to an invisible jet. You know what I mean? So yeah, that part was weird. So I guess it just started during that action scene? So I don't know. I don't like that. So, here's the thing, I was really looking forward to the action because I love the first trailer, where it showed her running alongside the trucks and then jumping and flipping trucks and stuff like that. But something about the way this movie was shot for the action sequences kind of makes it look bad. So everything looks super shiny, like everything is super bright. And to be honest, I'm glad that a movie is this bright, but at the same time, I was like, everything looks fake. Everything really looks fake. It's oversaturated. And I guess Patty Jenkins was trying to copy like 300 for this scene. Zack Snyder's 300. But unfortunately, I felt like she oversaturated, over-brightened the scene. So every time Diana does something, the CG is noticeable. The CG background is noticeable. So I felt like this movie looked worse than the first one. Because at least in the first one, because it's World War I, it's not bright, it's dark, it's gray, the colors are muted too. So I guess that if there was bad CGI in that, we don't really notice it because it would be well hidden compared to this. This is all out there, all in your face. So that's why I felt like that whole scene with her chasing down the trucks did not look as good as it should. There's some cool moments in it, but at the same time, I was like, unfortunately, nothing in this scene is like better than any of the action scenes in Wonder Woman or in Justice League even. So that was a bit of a bummer. And I understand Patty Jenkins is not an action movie director. So, and at least she's trying, but at the same time, I have to admit this sequence did not really look good. Again, I had fun with it because of, some ass-kicking moments. But at the same time, it felt neutered in a way. But I will say this, at least I was more impressed with the action scenes in this than in the Mulan remake. So I'll give the movie that. And then we get to the scene where it's basically like Spider-Man 2 over again, where Diana has to save these kids from getting hit by a truck. But what she did, so Steve shoots a missile, an RPG, and Diana grabs it with the lasso because she's not fast enough to run to grab the children. So she had no choice but to lasso onto an RPG, which makes her fly across the road. And then she lets go of the RPG and slams it to the ground so no one gets hit by it, and then grabs the kids quickly. And she almost got crushed too. So yeah, there's that scene, but I'm not sure about the whole history, but I heard some people on Twitter is very pissed off about that sequence, even though I felt like that's like a regular superhero savior thing, but I guess people are very mad at how it looked, at how it portrayed. I don't know, because I guess they said it's based on a true event where 4 kids got hit by a bomb or an RPG. Again, I don't fully know about the history of this. But I'm not sure if the Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot was inspired by that. I hope not. But again, I honestly thought like it was a traditional superhero saving thing, you know? I mean, she saved kids from getting hit by cars. That's like a superhero thing to do. It's like firefighters saving a cat from a tree, you know? So that's why I was like, people are mad about that? I'm a little confused. Anyway, so Barbara is getting stronger. They show her in a gym, and she's using the weights and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, she's finding information about the stone, and this stone was created by some god from the past. At first, I thought they were also gonna say Loki, because they said this is from the god of lies, the god of mischief. But nope, no mention of Loki, unless he is also Loki. But I guess the hieroglyphs are Egyptian, so I guess it can't be Loki anyway, because Loki is Norse. So then we get to the White House, because Max Lord wants to meet up with the President of the United States so he could be all powerful. And here's my problem with Max Lord. He got way too power hungry, and I don't understand why. Like, I can understand if the stone is manipulating his mind so he's becoming insane, but it didn't seem like that, because he has a son in this, Alistair, and he still maintains his own humanity, so it's not like, oh, he's becoming a monster, and then he's like human towards Alistair or something like that. No, he's still himself. He's just getting weaker because he's granting too many wishes. And yeah, my problem with that is this. I mean, the first wish he got went after he wished him to be the stone, and then he basically takes over a guy's company. Good! You took over a guy's company. You're already on your way. Why all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have to go to Egypt and also get the oil and also get his security and stuff like that, and also grant so many people's wishes as well, even though it's hurting me. And I was like, why are you doing it so fast? You don't have to do it so fast. You have so much time. Seriously, I don't understand why you're doing everything at a super fast rate. You already own some guy's company. Already. It's not like you're gonna be fully bankrupt. You could sell that off and then use the money to pay off your finances, or you could grab someone and wish for money and you could steal the money. I mean, I'm very confused on why you're trying to finish this within like, what, 3 days? It makes no sense to me. So that, yeah, I was hoping there was some explanation on why he's doing this so quickly. Like, if he's about to die and he has no choice and he's trying to do it for Alistair and stuff like that. But again, oh my god, it's just, he's doing it way too fast. And it's up to the point where I don't think that his character is, I don't feel any sympathy for the character anymore. But yeah, that's the thing. At least, Pedro Pascal doesn't play an overly evil villain, so at least this villain has depth, and I can understand some people not liking him, but for me, I honestly dug him because he's not a traditional bad guy. He's not super villain. He's just a guy down on his luck, and he's trying to do best for his son, and anybody could relate to that. Anybody could buy that. And some of the decisions he makes, it just kind of makes no sense to me. Again, I wish that they explained a bit more, like the stone inside him is actually manipulating his mind and he's not even in control of it anymore. Something, you know? I wish they expand more on that. Anyway, so he meets up with the president, and the president is a douchebag because he wants all the nuclear weapons. So yeah, he gave away his presidency basically to Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal was asking about the satellites, and apparently they could shoot down particles when everyone watches it on TV, and then he's like, oh, so I could grant everyone wishes so I can become the strongest being in the world. Ha 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 ha! Basically. So yeah, Pedro Pascal basically turned himself into Jafar. Oh my god, now I'm thinking about Aladdin in a Wonder Woman 1984 movie. What are the odds of that? Come on. So, then we get to the White House fight where, and yeah, here's the thing too. So, Diana lost her sword. And I guess she either lost the shield or she just doesn't bring the shield anymore. I don't know. She doesn't have a shield. I guess it's because they don't want to copy Captain America. I mean, it wouldn't make sense that she would carry a shield at all times, even though I felt like she could just carry it on her back. And if you don't want her flinging that around like Captain America, fine. But still, she has to fight off against guys with bullets. So because she doesn't have a shield, she often has to swing her lasso fast enough to deflect the bullets, which honestly, we never seen that ability before. Like, we never did. She never did it in Wonder Woman 1. She never did it in Justice League. She never did it in Batman v Superman. So that's why we're like, you were able to do that with your lasso then? So why do you need a shield? I feel like if you're fast enough to do that with the lasso and you could deflect them back and stuff like that, then why do you need the shield? So yeah, that's why it's I felt like this a lot of this movie felt neutered because she doesn't have the sword, so she doesn't kill people, and also she even if she has a sword, she can't really kill them because she knows that they're the guards of Max Lord is the minds are manipulated because that's what he wished for, that's what he took. So it's not like these guys are acting on their own, they're acting because of the stone. So that's why she doesn't want to kill any of them. So yeah, that's why I felt like this movie felt a bit too safe because she can't kill, basically. She's like Batman, she cannot kill. Actually, I don't think anyone actually died in this. Seriously, I can't figure out one. I mean, one guy wished for an old woman to die, but I assume she comes back to life because he later renounces his wish. So yeah, now here's the rule about the wish stone. So either the stone is fully destroyed, or everyone renounces their wishes. So, once that scene came up about the stone being destroyed and everyone renouncing their wishes, and also Diana is losing her powers, I knew by that point when they explained that Diana has to renounce her wish about Steve Trevor. And I was just waiting and waiting and waiting until that scene came up, and it did come up. And it's basically what I predicted too, and that was a damn shame. Actually, a lot of this movie you're able to predict. I mean, like everything with Steve Trevor, everything with the Witchstone and stuff like that. But yeah, there are some things that surprised me, especially with Max Lord's fate. But yeah, I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for Diana to renounce her wish, and it did happen. And I was honestly upset too, because Steve Trevor was the best part about this movie, and the fact that he's gone and there's like 30 minutes left of the movie, I was really upset. I actually shed a tear because I was like, oh my god, don't leave, Steve. I love you. So yeah, then we get to the White House scene where she was fighting the guards, and also Barbara. Barbara is getting stronger, and she's basically losing her humanity. But here's the weird thing. They said that once you wish for something, something is taken away from you. And for Barbara, it is her compassion, her sympathy for people and stuff like that. But even though Diana said it's her humanity, and yeah, that makes sense too, but she isn't becoming like a cheetah. Barbara is still human. She only becomes a cheetah once Max grants her the second wish. So that's why I was a little disappointed, because I was hoping that this movie would end up feeling like the movie Ginger Snaps. I'm not sure if you heard or seen this movie. It is low budget, but I thought the acting was great and the story was actually good too. Where it's twin sisters, one of them becomes a werewolf and she slowly becomes a werewolf. Her personality changes, she's becoming more insane, more fierce, more confident and all that stuff. I was hoping it would be Barbara's transformation would be similar to that, but not exactly. So it's not like she's slowly becoming like a cheetah. It's not like she's growing fur little by little or anything. No, she just becomes a full cheetah like at the end, and that's it. There's no lead up to the transformation, no patches of fur coming out of her. Her face isn't being distorted or something like that. Her skeleton is changing. No, nothing like that. She's just becoming stronger, and that was it. So that's why I was very disappointed in her. And here's the other thing. In the beginning, she said that she was a gemologist and a zoologist. And honestly, I guess they threw in the zoologist line because she wants to be a cheetah, I guess, near the end. But I was hoping that it was from her one wish because, you know, something is being taken from her. Yeah, she's being sexy. Yeah, she's being more confident, but also she's becoming a monster. That's what I was hoping for. I mean, come on, Patty Jenkins, you should know this, right? That's what I was hoping for. But you didn't do that. She had to use another wish? I mean, why? I was wondering what was going in the minds of Patty Jenkins at the time. And also Jeff Johns also. I think he was the other writer too. So yeah, I was like, what were you thinking, guys? You had this brilliant setup, like, okay, the something that's being taken from her is her humanity, her being human, so she becomes like a cheetah. Boom, done, you're there. Instead of her wishing to be a cheetah at the end. It's weird. I did not like that at all. I honestly didn't. So Diana is beaten up, she's bloodied and everything. Her back is almost broken. So Steve Trevor convinces her to renounce her wish. She did. Steve is gone. And then we have Wonder Woman flying through the skies. And the thing is that, yeah, I know she can fly in the animated series, but did she ever fly in Justice League? Did she ever fly in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice? From what I can tell, she can't. So if she had this ability to fly the entire time, why didn't she use it? It made no sense to me. I know some people on Twitter said that she's mostly gliding instead of flying and using the lasso to help her glide. But again, if she's able to do that, I mean, why didn't we see that before? That's why I was like, the continuity did not make sense. I'm okay if she's super fast. I'm okay if she's super strong, but she's able to fly. At least show that in Justice League and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. You know? Unless she was always able to fly in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but again, I highly doubt she does. So that's the weird part. I know in the trailers that people were laughing at how silly it is for her to lasso a lightning bolt so she could swing on it. But I honestly buy that more than her flying. And yes, I know she can fly in the animated series, and I assume she could fly in the comic books as well. But again, I don't know, it just felt like it came out of nowhere. So she has these 3 abilities. She's able to lasso and deflect bullets. She's able to turn things invisible, and also she can fly. And I guess that's a problem with prequels like this, because of course people want to see cooler moves. People want to see the character evolve in power and stuff, and I get that. It's kind of like for me for Devil May Cry, where Devil May Cry 1, you're like, oh, Dante's a super cool dude. He's able to use guns and swords, and he does like a cool like 4-hit combo and stuff like that. Then we get to Devil May Cry 3, which takes place way before Devil May Cry 1, and Dante's is able to use nunchucks and use back katars and lightning and, you know, using the rebellion to do 1,000,000 hits and stuff like that. And I was like, why weren't you able to do that in DMC 1, Dante? See, it's like that. Like, that's kind of the problems with prequels. Like, you want to have the character be cooler, be faster, be stronger, evolve in power, but again, if that doesn't happen in the sequels that were already made and already shown to people before your prequel comes out, then it makes no sense. Unless you're going to explain that, oh, she loses that power, but she does not. Okay. So then we get to the final fight, where Wonder Woman faces off against Cheetah. Cheetah is fully transformed, and yeah, we do not get a transformation sequence, which is a bummer. I honestly wish that we see Kristen Wiig transform into Cheetah, but nope, we do not have that. And here's the weird thing. I don't know if Barbara is actually naked, because we do see her wearing clothes after she renounced her wish. So that's why I was like, so when she becomes Cheetah, does she rip up her clothes? She take off her clothes or something like that? Or she magically transforms into Cheetah instantly with her clothes becoming the fur? So that's why I was a little confused about that. Because we didn't see Kristen Wiig naked at the end. She was wearing clothes. So that was a bit weird. Anyway, so I assume she's mostly a CGI effect. I don't know about the face. The face looks real enough. And she, besides the fur. And I have a slight problem with this fight scene. Mostly because it takes place at night. Here's the thing. Even though I like this fight more than the fight with Ares in Wonder Woman, in the first Wonder Woman movie, the thing about Ares is that the lighting at least is impressive. And yes, they are fighting at night, but because there's explosions and fire around it, it creates like a cool looking image. You could see the characters being lit by the fire. That looks cool. We don't have that here. It's just plain dark. But it's not completely dark. You can still see everything. You can still see the fight. But the thing is that everything is dark. You will never see what Cheetah looks like, the full body of Cheetah, what she looks like under bright lighting. You can't. It never happened. Yes, she does become engulfed in light later on, but only her face is shown on screen, not her entire body. So exactly, we don't really know what color her fur is. We don't really know the detail of her fur too, because again, it takes place at night, outside. And yes, sometimes when they were hitting the wires and stuff like that, sparks do come out, but it doesn't really show Cheetah's body that much either. So that was a bit of a bummer. So I would say that the lighting in this sequence is really not that impressive, and because of that, things look flat. And that was a bit of a problem too. I was like, I want to enjoy this fight scene because it looks more action-packed and it looks more fun than the Ares fight. But at the same time, because it's not lit well or lit in an interesting way, that's why I couldn't get into the final fight. So that's why I was very disappointed. And I can understand why it was under dark lighting. Maybe they had a humongous problem with the rendering Cheetah, how she looks and stuff like that. So that's why they said, oh, we're just gonna hide her looks under the dark lighting and no one would complain about the bad CGI. Maybe it's the Cats effect. Maybe it looks as bad as Cats. Maybe they just didn't have enough time to finish the effects, even though this movie's been delayed. I don't know why the effects wouldn't be finished if the movie was delayed. I don't know. Anyway. So even though I like the final fight more than the one with Ares, it just didn't look as impressive. And yeah, that's the thing. Some people do not like the Doomsday fight from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, but you gotta admit, at least it's lit in an interesting way because Doomsday was using his heat ray everywhere. There's explosions, debris that's on fire. So at least the lighting, it looks better than here. Here, it just looks flat. Then also Wonder Woman dons the golden armor for basically just the finale, and it was a bit disappointing because she has these cool looking gold wings that easily gets destroyed. Yeah, it just gets destroyed by Cheetah and that was it. And I was like, really? That's it? She doesn't even use her wings like Archangel did in X-Men what was it? X-Men Apocalypse? Yeah, it's nothing like that too. So yeah, she does use the wings like a shield, but again, it was very disappointing. I expected an awesome fight, a super cool fight. So that's why I was like, oh, you know what? That's one cool moment I would rather see in the theater, but now I'm like, that's it. And then Wonder Woman tries to stop Maximilian Lord, but she can't because he was too powerful. So what does she do? It looks like something from Care Bears. So, her Lasso of Truth has an additional power, an additional skill, where if she grabs someone, she can show the history or talk to people and stuff like that. So, and show people the truth. So she wrapped it around Max because he was talking to everyone, and because he's talking to everyone, she's able to communicate with everyone. And this is the biggest bullshit I've seen in a long ass time. She convinces the entire world, everyone in the entire world to renounce their wish. Everyone. And I found that to be complete bullshit. Every single person. You mean to tell me there's not even one bad apple, not even one criminal, not even one psychopath? Everyone is convinced to renounce their wishes? Because apparently, you don't have to say your wishes out loud in English. You could be in any country. You could speak any language and make a wish. Seriously, because they showed this Japanese woman, Chinese woman actually. I don't think she was speaking Japanese. Chinese woman that she wants to be famous. So yeah, it doesn't matter which language you speak. If you make a wish, it'll come true apparently. And at the same time, Maximilian is trying to grab everyone's health so he doesn't have to die. So yeah, she convinces everyone to renounce their wish, and it worked. I was blown away by how incredibly absurd that is. And here's the thing. It is cute. It is sincere. And I get that. It is something that you would see in like an episode of Wonder Woman back in the 70s and 80s for the ending of it. And to spread good cheer, good faith. Everyone is helpful to each other. Everyone is okay with each other. Everyone embraces each other. It's a good message. I'm not denying that. It is. The problem is, this is a superhero movie that a lot of people were really, really wanting and wanted to see some good action sequences and to have very dire consequences, to have very serious situations, but it felt like something that came from the 80s and it's not really that deep. And here's my problem too, because everyone renounces their wishes. It's not like they reset time. It's not. It's not like a Superman reversing the Earth orbit to reverse time before all the bad things happen. No, it's nothing like that. Everyone knows what they wish for. Everyone knows what they wish for. And apparently the damage is still kind of there. And everyone knows what happened. And I guess people died? I don't know. It makes no sense to me either. So it's not like they rewinded time and nothing happened. No, basically it's like the blip. And no one mentioned this in Batman v Superman or Justice League or what, Wonder Woman? Or in Shazam even? Not even mentioned in the class? Nothing? That this big catastrophic, event that happened in 1984? It's kind of like in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where there are these giant blue zits engulfing parts of the Earth and parts of other planets. People are about to die because of Kurt Russell. But no one mentioned this? Are you kidding me? This is not something that you could wipe under a rug or use the Men in Black neuralizer or whatever. What the hell? This event is humongous. And no one talks about it for 1984. Not even Bruce Wayne mentions it. I don't know. That to me makes no sense because this is a very big event. It's not like some minor thing like in Captain America Winter Soldier, like it affected part of Washington, D.C. and that's it. No, this is a big event that affected the entire world and almost ended the world because everyone, USA and Russia were using nuclear weapons at each other. Seriously, it was that humongous. And for some reason, this movie reminds me a bit of X-Men Apocalypse 2 with the nuclear weapons. Are you kidding me? So yeah, this movie is a lot of things. It's like Spider-Man 2 with its messages as well, with the The message is about loss. The message is about moving on from that loss. The message about sacrificing, even sacrificing your dream to help others. So yeah, basically, what Wonder Woman said to Max Lord is basically the same speech Tobey Maguire gave to Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina. It's basically the same thing. Sometimes we have to sacrifice our dreams in order to help people. So Max Lord renounces his wish because he wants to be with his son. It's the same thing. And also, like I said, it's not like time is rewinded because there's still devastation when Max Lord meets up with his son. There's still pollution. There's still garbage all everywhere because of the riots and stuff. So yeah, that's why I was like, I don't understand this part. I honestly wish that everything is reversed. But here's the other thing too. Max Lord says that he renounces his wish, that he doesn't want to become the stone again. You don't see the stone forming again. You don't see the stone again. No, the stone is gone. That's why I was very confused. I was like, wait, if he renounced his wish, doesn't that mean the stone comes back in one piece? So that part makes no sense. I felt like they actually forgot about that, to be honest. So if he renounced his wish, then where's the stone? The stone should be back in one piece. Because when he wished he was the stone disintegrated. So that's why I was very confused. What happened with that stone? I guess it didn't matter. And then we see the guy that Diana basically raped at the end. He shows up again. And unfortunately, he doesn't say, oh, wow, I was in a coma for 3 days. I don't even know what happened. He doesn't even say anything about that. He's just happy that it's wintertime. Oh, yeah, so it's a Christmas movie again. So we have the two DC Universe movies that have something to do with Christmas. I wonder if that scene was added in because they didn't know that when this movie comes out. But yeah, Shazam is a Christmas movie through and through, and I loved it. Oh, man. So yeah, there's no mention of the Justice League, no mention of Batman or Superman, and I guess it makes sense because it focused only on 1984. It's not like Diana having a flashback similar to Wonder Woman, where she remembers World War I. No, this stays in 1984. So I guess Bruce Wayne is possibly a 10-year-old at this point. He probably lost his parents or about to lose his parents. And Kal-El is not sent from Krypton yet, I believe. So yeah, if anything, yeah, there would be no mention of Justice League or anything. So at least it's contained. But at the same time, because the event in this movie is so huge, I was like, how come this wasn't mentioned in anything else in the DC universe? So, yeah, it has the same problem I had with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm pretty sure people will mention the giant blue zits that are about to engulf the planet like the blob. Ugh. Then we have a mid-credit scene with Linda Carter, which was cute, even though she winked at the cameras, breaking the fourth wall. But, again, it was cute. I'm happy she was in it. But at the same time, I was like, you could cut that out. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't think this movie should have been 2.5 hours because it didn't have that much action. It felt super long. And yes, even though I really love the scenes with Steve Trevor and Diana together, I'm trying to think of what to cut. Cut the cameo from Linda Carter, I guess. I'm sorry. I like her cameo, but at the same time, it wasn't necessary. I would say if you cut the movie by 30 minutes, it would have flowed better. So I guess cut the whole opening. Probably cut the mall too. Oh man, and the mall sets up the scene too because of the people trying to steal the stone. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? You don't have to mention about the robbery. No, just have Diana working at the Smithsonian, meeting up with Kristen Wiig at the for the first time, and then Diana's boss talks about some stone. Yeah, it could have started right there with the Smithsonian. So that's why I was like, yeah, just cut the games with the young Diana, cut the mall rescue, cut the cameo from Linda Carter. What else to cut? But here's the problem too. I don't want them to really cut anything from Max Lord, because I thought Pedro Pascal did a great job, and Max Lord was a fun villain. And also, I don't want to cut. I don't want anything to cut from Barbara, played by Kristen Wiig. I thought Kristen Wiig did a good job too. So I don't know. I don't think you should be able to cut either parts. But again, there should be more scenes that should be cut. And also, that's the thing. The romantic comedy portion about this movie is the best part. So man, it's so hard. But if I say cut out the action scenes, that sounds wrong for a superhero movie, especially about Wonder Woman. We need action scenes. Honestly, Patty Jenkins, I hope she gets better with filming the action. I really hope she does. Because, and that's the problem too. No, none of the action sequences in this movie beats the No Man's Land action sequence from Wonder Woman. Or does it even beat the Doomsday fight against Wonder Woman? So that's a problem. That was a big problem for me. Again, I do appreciate that it's basically a tribute to like movies like Superman and Superman 2. I get it. And honestly, it felt like if Sam Raimi wanted to direct a Wonder Woman movie in a way, because it is similar to Spider-Man 2. And yeah, I could see the influences from Batman Returns and Amazing Spider-Man 2. Actually, it's a lot like Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well, because the best part about Amazing Spider-Man 2 was Andrew Garfield's and Emma Stone's great chemistry with each other. And honestly, it's the best part about the movie, even though I did not like that movie. And I guess it had the two villains thing where Electro is basically a henchman while Green Goblin is the main villain. And here, Max Lord is the main villain and Cheetah is basically just a henchman bodyguard. So that's the disappointment. Alright, so we're past an hour. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984. I do not think it's a horrible movie. I do not think it's a bad movie. Unfortunately, I do not think it's a great movie or a good movie. I think it's an okay, fun, distracting movie that is a huge mess, but I do appreciate the message in it, and I do love the romantic comedy parts of it. So, there you go. So if you have any questions about it or comments, write down in comments below. And if I don't see you guys again, it is December 27, 2020. Have a happy new year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.